What do you think, what kind of expectation Indians and Hindus especially have from Congress that they keep voting them into power in certain elections here or there?
They will select only those people to quickly do those loot, the fraud. The center leaders, Amit Shah, Modi ji, everybody has got a vision for the nation. The ministers who has to implement it in the ground, they have to be perfect.
Got him killed.
Yeah.
The Prime Minister of India.
Yeah, that was the plan. We have very few warriors. Here and there, now and then, one Lawrence Bishnoi pops up. And I pray Mahadev that he will not end up like, Bhagat Singh or any other person, because
keyboard warriors.
Yeah, keyboard warriors.
News outlets that are working anti-India element, anti-Hindu elements. But why BBC per se?
BBC is pretty dangerous because you look at the journalists, the way they are trained.
Namaskaram, Vinod Anna.
Namaskaram, Satvik ji.
Yeah, we are having a conversation in English today, but it's going to be an amazing, interesting conversation. We are going to talk about history of Congress, how it was founded, what was its character, and how it's still behaving in the same way till now, in the present day and age, in the today's politics. And who better else than to talk than Vinod Anna. So I'll just give a brief history of their founding so that I can set a premise and then we move ahead. Okay. So recently I have been reading this book by Sanjeev Sanyalji, and the book name is Revolutionaries.
Wow.
And when we are talking about I think Aurobindo Ghosh ji, there is one part which comes about Alan Octavian Hume.
Yeah.
And when I was in my school, in my history textbooks, they only used to tell that Congress was founded in 1885 by A.O. Hume. That's it. They wanted to give Indian leaders some platform.
Yeah.
But when I was reading that book by Sanjeev Sanyalji, some interesting bits came out. British Raj had just had a taste of you can say, the first war of independence, which they term it as just a small army mutiny. And then there was a lot of struggle happening with the indigo and opium cultivation.
Yeah.
And then happened 1876 to 78, there was a huge famine which had roughly 5 to 9 million deaths.
Artificial famine.
Yes, artificial famine.
Engineered famine.
And at that time, Alan Octavian Hume, he was towards the end of his career. He was in ICS, which is today's IAS. He looked at it and saw that there's a lot of, a discontentment towards the British Raj.
Yeah.
And it can turn violent because it's a recent memory of people and the events I talked about just. What he wanted to do was, around 1882 he retired, and then he convinced all his colleagues, let's create a platform which came to be known as Indian National Congress.
Yeah.
So it is founded by a British so that he can create a safety valve for the British Raj. And he, in December 1885, he decided to do it in Bombay, the first, you can say, I don't know what to say, the Congress meet.
Yeah.
And they only selected carefully chosen 72 people. And he did not allow any general public to even come in as a spectator so that they can establish, you can say a room full of elites who will lick their feet. And one of them who was not very radically against British, but he was still a voice of all the Indian people, right?
Yeah.
Was Surendranath Banerjee. He made sure that he does not become the president, and then someone else becomes the president. That his name is Vyomkesh Chandra Banerjee.
Yeah.
And then the history just goes on. 1893, Dadabhai Naoroji, who is so famously taught to us that he's, the beacon of Indian freedom struggle at that time. His statement, I'll just read one statement that he says, his faith has never faltered in the British character, and he hopes that this turns into the 1858 charter, which
Yeah.
they said that India and British should come together. I know I'm giving a longer premise, but then it will all make sense.
No, it's valid information.
Yes. And then towards 1897, 98, there was another huge famine, which official records only say 5 million deaths, but many people say 16 million deaths.
Yeah.
That is 1.6 crores. And around that time, there was a rise of a new leader known as Bal Gangadhar Tilak, which we also fondly known as Lokmanya Tilak. And that guy gave an entry to a set of revolutionaries into Congress.
Yes.
But around 1907, there was a All India Congress meet that was supposed to happen in Nagpur, which is home turf of Tilakji. And there was two people, I don't remember their names now. They fought against that and then made it happen in Surat. Everyone comes there, the thing happens, and there is a division between nationalists and loyalists.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? And loyalists are against Lokmanya Tilak ji becoming the president.
Yeah.
And now what the nationalists then say that they're upset, but they're like, okay, just include certain demands of nationalists into your whatever you say, the charter they bring out after every meet.
Yes.
So they promise that. But what happens is, by the end of that evening, nothing happens. Tilakji does not become president. They do not take out a charter with nationalist demands. And the next day, Motilal Nehru comes out and seconds Ras Bihari Ghosh. There's a difference between Ras Bihari Bose and Ras Bihari Ghosh. So I'm just trying to clear that also.
Yeah.
Ras Bihari Ghosh is a loyalist. He's seconded by Motilal Nehru to become the president. And that's where the permanent division of Congress happens,
Yes.
where they both hold their separate meetings in the same location, where Aurobindo Ghosh and Tilakji head that meet.
Yeah.
That is where you see a huge difference of Congress, which is outrightly, out in the open, because Lokmanya Tilak ji has given them a good platform. Now they are known all over India.
Yeah.
There comes the entry of Gandhi and then Nehru, and then we all know what happens. Anti-Hindu sentiments, pro-Muslim appeasement, even after the, you can say, the independence, the partition.
Yeah.
And then happens certain things known as, I'm just going to now give you certain points of history, not going to dive deeper. Then happens Fabian socialism, the economy grew only at 2% all throughout PM Nehru. Then comes PM Indira Gandhi, so dynastic rule happens. Emergency, a lot of other kinds of corruption.
Yeah.
And then comes, you can say Rajiv Gandhi, then a de facto rule by Sonia Gandhi under Manmohan Singh, scams of 2010. Right now under Modi ji, the opposition leader is Rahul Gandhi, and you see they carry out a yatra known as Bharat Jodo Yatra, but they are consistently trying to divide the society by asking what is your caste. And also they are everywhere they are in power, they are giving up freebies.
Yeah.
This is how the whole of Congress history in today's time, everything is happening. What do you think, what kind of expectation Indians and Hindus especially have from Congress that they keep voting them into power in certain elections here or there?
This is so elaborate. Let me put it in simple terms. Congress is a party to destroy India.
Okay.
As simple as that. I've been saying it since beginning. Let's explain and give a context and valid reasons why it has to be so, and let's completely brush up the topic. Number one, they call it democracy. Doing all these things, they call it democracy.
Yes.
Nowhere you see, when you are saying the way the meetings have been conducted, eliminating so and so people, this is not how democracy functions. Democracy means giving an opportunity, hearing everybody's voice from the bottom. The leader will behave nothing other than dictator. Their dictatorship is in their DNA, and they will select only those people to quickly do those loot, the fraud that they need to do. Hume, who is he? civil servant of British. Do you expect a nation which is thriving in Sanatan Dharma for so many years, you look at our ancient past history, we never had a scarcity of leaders. There are so many Mahatmas over here. We don't need an outside Mahatma to come over and take up this land. There is no scarcity of leaders in Bharat. But how could this loot happen? The only thing that we lost is the academic gatekeeping that the British does. Everywhere you look at, even now the businesses, the Hindutva organizations and businesses terribly lack this academic gatekeeping, and that is where we are losing it all. You look at British, they have, even for a lowest of the lower role, there will be an admin, and the gatekeeping happens so properly. Everybody will be under surveillance. You will be scrutinized. No, not even a single rupee will go waste. In our, if you compare how this destruction happens, this perspective is very, very important. How we, being so rich culture, lost it to thugs, have lost it to looters and stupid politicians. It's only because when we start a business, we will start with an initial enthusiasm of all the energy, and then we will be looted by our own people, we'll be cheated by our own internal team, and then we will die down. For example, let us take Bosji,
Yes.
Subhash Chandra Bose, such a brilliant army. How did he run into dust? How he become a failure? I'll repeat. How did he end up into such a big disaster that he has to run away or die or whatever the mystery that people are calling the top secret? Because imagine what happens if there are 100 people in his team, 50 will divide, and then they start educating these other 50 that is it going to work? He's going to blast this entire thing, British Raj, and is it going to work out? No, I don't think. Let us advise Bosji that this is not going to happen. A week, the cancer starts developing inside the team itself, and there'll be other 50, get the hell out of yourself, his vision is amazing, it's going to work, and it'll become weak there. And then end of the day, when you start the action, you will be acting with a crippled team.
Yes.
It doesn't work like that. But look at thieves. One commander, if he sets one go on the commander, everybody in the team will set straight. No option is given to them. Slaves, bunch of slaves. So this is the slavery that East India Company is doing. And Congress, again to give a perspective, it is just East India Company has gone only on a propaganda level, but it is still surviving in the name of Congress.
Yes.
That is how they set up overnight some NGOs. You look at the names, Sunlight Foundation. But if Hindutva organizations have to set up an NGO, how much thought? They have to look at the Jataka stars and all these things. By the time you start an NGO, the loot happens, right? Sunlight Foundation, RGF, Rahul Gandhi Foundation, this PMNRF. These are the big foundations through which Manmohan Singh and the Sonia Gandhi very recently, in front of our eyes, looted the country like crazy. Now there is internet and everybody is looking through things and then putting out records, a comparative analysis of the inflation during Congress, developments during BJP, which is better. Of course, Modi ji is doing far better than Manmohan Singh, right? And they call it BJP is creating a lot of unemployment.
Yeah.
You look at the record of farmers' deaths during Manmohan Singh tenure. Majority of the farmers are wiped out because of no opportunity, no employment.
Yes.
Where will you give an employment when the money is completely going into Italian Vatican banks from India? The loot continued. 1850, let us remember that period, 1857, the Sepoy Mutiny. That should be the end of British, because that didn't work out. Sepoy Mutiny is called the first war of independence, right?
Yes.
That didn't work out. Because of that, there was an opportunity for Hume to again start, ruling and creating a leadership. At that point, if we took over the entire, the Rajya, the constitution and everything, we wouldn't have given opportunity to these many people. Continuous lineage, every step there is one Congress guy, Motilal Nehru. Who is he? Advocate. See, you look at the kind of people they select, Nowhere there'll be this energy and the heart for the culture and Sanatan Dharma of the people. Either you elect an advocate so that he performs well in the court cases and everything, written paper, Waqf board, wo chalana hai, wo chalana. This kind of people they put on leadership. For the first time in the history of Bharat, we have someone who imbibed the Sanatan culture in his heart. Now you don't blame him. You don't blame him for development, for Hindus getting hit or something. It is not one man's job, right?
Yes.
Taking the country on track, it's not one man's job at all, but
Yes.
he's doing it. He is standing as a big rock between the deep state and the internal 0.5 front war
Yes.
and safeguarding the Bharat. What else you expect? Yes, of course, a lot of people are, despondent, looking at the rate at which we have to progress. It's not happening. Still, a lot of Hindu skulls are being hit. A lot of women are being raped. This is not tolerable.
Railways is happening a lot now.
My God, I mean, you have every minister at place who's at blame, because I love Modi ji as a leader. BJP as a party has 100 holes in it,
Yes.
1,000 holes in it. These people have started with CAA. If you remember, in 2014 when he got into power, he started with CAA. What is the idea? You can imagine they wanted to lock all the borders. They wanted to first purify the inflow of Rohingya Muslims inside the border, lock everything up, and when we have the boundaries properly, then we have a nation to develop. That was the idea, but failed. Why it is failed? Whom to blame? The center leaders, Amit Shah, Modi ji, everybody has got a vision for the nation. The ministers who has to implement it in the ground, they have to be perfect, right? When something UCC has to be implemented, these ministers are the people, the MPs and MLAs are the people who have to work on the ground and take it forward, right? Or in terms of reach, in terms of protection, security and everything, who has to do? The Karyakartas. These are the people, right? How can Modi ji can come and solve the Bainsa rights over here? That didn't happen. A huge Shahin Bagh broke out. But still, thanks to Amit Shah, not a big damage happened. I mean, that was an attempt to pull down the government.
Yes.
These are attempts to pull down the governments.
Especially the 26th January,
Yeah.
the Red Fort
Yeah.
siege.
Any rights for that matter. Government says Agnipath, lot of job opportunity to military youth. These people again start a protest. We have seen to such an extent where the protesters have no idea about why they are protesting. They're simply on streets, paid. Thanks to internet again and all the influencers, social media, people are aware now that these are orchestrated riots. These are not religious riots or because you are hitting a community, targeting a community. It is not like that. They wanted to pull down Modi ji. They wanted to have their own Congress. Let's come back to the past. Once a mistake happened in Congress, it is a conscious mistake. That is, electing Lal Bahadur Shastri ji as a Prime Minister.
Yeah.
It was an internal plan to elect one person so that people will get an idea that, okay, we are democratic.
Yeah.
We are giving chance to be BJP also.
That's true.
And then they themselves pulled him down.
Got him killed.
Yeah.
The Prime Minister of India.
Yeah, that was the plan. And then they chuckle in their inner team. They usually chuckle themselves. Inside story is different. That people think that BJP won. All of a sudden BJP. No, it is a chance given by them. They were so strong. But for the first time, Rahul Gandhi might have thought, Sonia Gandhi might have thought, okay, anyway, another 5 years we will pull down Modi ji. We have all the terrorist gangs and connections. I'm telling you, I have put out a whole expose of Rahul Gandhi meeting terrorist links. People call me idiots. After 2 years, mainstream media says it.
Yeah.
And now the mainstream media sings like parrots. Whatever I exposed 2-3 years back or 4 years back, mainstream media picks it up. And then it becomes a news. Now everybody knows that. US deep state, Biden itself, they don't want to include Rahul Gandhi in their team because he's a lot of so exposure and he's become a papu kind of. this comedy picture is being projected. He is no use for them also.
Yes.
He is the most, terrible person now.
Panauti.
He is useless for Congress also now. He will go into even worse states for whatever he is doing to the country. I mean to say, when they let BJP to power in 2014, they were under the impression that only 5 years, again we'll come back to power. Didn't happen. Another 5 years, it didn't happen. Another 5 years, it is becoming stronger and stronger. Now I want to say that Congress is on deathbed.
Okay.
Next term, if Modi ji makes it again, BJP comes in power, Congress will be wiped off, completely kicked out of the country. Now itself you can see PFI ban, they're going on Waqf board, they're getting strong on UCC, already it's been implemented in few states. One nation, one election will cure a lot of disease in the country.
Yeah.
And let us also address, am I answering too much, not giving break to your questions?
Go on.
I feel this is very important. Whoever is complaining that Modi ji is not efficient or something, understand, for a country to function better, the only thing that is important in this Kali Yuga in 2024 is the economy. What is your economy in the list of top 10 matters? Only then you talk about the nation, development or whatever in the country. When we are not even there in the top 10 list of economy, when we are in a Garib list of economies, what are you going to talk about? Hindutva, glorifying, everything will be nonsense. So, the first major focus of Modi ji is to somehow get India into the top 1 list, which will happen. We cannot, nobody has any audacity to say on this, that it will not happen. He is doing anything and everything possible. That is his primary focus. Whoever is working on ground, you focus on the development of Hindutva. Work for Hindutva. There won't be government support. It's already been put aside into the complete developmental model. And it will do that. Till once we get our military strong and the development economy strong, then you focus on Hindutva, temples, all sorts of things. In the midst of all this itself, he built Ram Mandir. Yeah. That itself is too much. Now you don't ask for Mathura, Gyanvapi, all sorts of, they don't confuse him. He will anyway do it. Right?
But anyway, there is another controversy that Ayodhya didn't give him back the seat.
Yeah. So, mixed up nonsense, all sorts of mixed up. You don't you elect a leader and in 5 years' time, you yourself pull him down. That is not how it works.
So, one thing you said, Congress is on its deathbed.
Yeah.
And 2024 election, June 4, we saw something else happening. BJP was reduced to 240, Congress almost got 3 digits.
Yes.
What do you think?
That is a terrible mistake by BJP itself.
Mm-hmm.
We have said it many times that you did not give importance to social media.
Okay.
Modi ji gave extreme importance. He used social media to the peak in 2014 and 2019 elections. Amazing it was. I don't know what happened suddenly, all of a sudden. And
I think they became complacent.
They too realized it. And now they're giving I think they're allotting some importance to the social media people. Maybe in next elections we'll see some results. But I really don't know the plan, how it failed. The internal discussions we are not aware of. But they realized it. It's because of this mistake. And people also talk about RSS coming in conflict.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, complacence, arrogance, or too much overconfidence. Many things plays. But this affected them a lot. It is almost like a thank God we made it kind of a victory.
Yeah.
It is not a glorified victory, which Modi ji was always saying 400 par.
Yes.
And 400 will happen in 2029.
Okay. Hopefully.
Yeah.
But Haryana is a good,
yes.
a hope is rising.
Yes.
Because Haryana, everyone assumed it to not do well.
Yeah.
And now Maharashtra is coming.
Yes.
Maharashtra's politics, it's very murky.
Yes.
Very complicated.
Yeah.
I hope there is some kind of plan now.
Yeah.
Because now they see some of their plans working after that debacle.
Yes.
But yes, as you said, bach gaye.
Yes.
So that happened. I would like to take you a little back. You said 2014 Congress allowed BJP to win so that they can come back in 2019,
Yeah.
thinking people will realize how good we are. You need us.
Yeah.
But I think Modi ji played the biggest card because you also said one thing with its terrorist organizations.
Yes.
Because Modi ji did not let any civilian terrorist attack to happen.
Yes.
2016, we saw. Is it 2016? Yeah, I think November 8, 2016, demonetization. Demonetization
Yes,
happened.
yes, yeah.
Many people still ask question what happened to the notes, all the money still came in, but people don't realize you broke the backbone of Pakistan.
Yeah.
And that's where I think you see the downfall of Pakistan and Congress. And it's very correlated. If you mark their plotting points, Congress rise, Pakistan's rise.
Yes.
India, in that sense, also does bad.
Yeah.
And now, when they went down in 2014, 2016, and especially after 2019, Pakistan has never been able to recover it.
Yeah. Congress is a sweet home for terrorists, minorities, appeasements. It's all very clear now. Congress has put themselves into such mean atrocities, actions that they expose themselves as the bad characters at present. Mostly the entire country, there are few people who are like cutter diehard fans. For example, the appeasement people, my sister's marriage, Bayaji, Rahul Gandhi will throw 1 lakh rupees. These kind of peoples. In tribal areas you go, and there are few donkeys who can be purchased for money.
Yeah.
Except these people, everybody is well aware that this Congress is not good for India.
Okay. Do you see the minorities voting them?
Yeah, of course. That is the party, right? These are, for example, in our home, if our brother is brainwashed, if our sister is brainwashed, that will be more dangerous than outside people getting brainwashed.
Yes.
A lot of funding is pumping from the foreign countries. Modi ji worked on it and cancelled like 20,000 FCRA licenses of NGOs.
Especially Christian missionaries.
Yeah, he's trying in every way to block all this foreign funding so that these NGOs will rot and die, so that the brainwashing won't happen. But still, the already existing brainwashed lot of people, these are the people who will lead the 0.5 front war that Bipin Rawat ji coined.
Yes.
We have a lot of such people now.
So, amongst all this, because we are waiting for the development and the economy to reach at that level where we can, go all out Hindutva or anything else for that matter, what should a Hindu, in its own individual sense, try to be connected to its root? What is its way out to stay connected, because you might lose awareness. Sometimes, like how caste divisions have been happening, or you can say some are apolitical youngsters, some do get influenced by the false narratives of the opposition.
Yeah.
In all that sense, the biggest target is Hinduism or Hindutva or Sanatan, and who are the base of it? Hindus.
Yes.
So what should an individual do that to preserve themselves?
It's a very important question. Let's first clarify in this context the word Hindutva. A lot of people have so many confusion definitions and things around it. Him means the negative side of it. You call it darkness, you call it depression, or that which causes you pain, misery. Him, right? Dhu means, it is taken from the word dhuni, that means fire or a light which destroys it. Hindu is basically, it's a destruction of ignorance or the negativity, and then Hindu means pure. Hindu means knowledge.
Okay.
Hindu means intelligent. That means Hindu is a clan, is a area of people where the intelligent lot of people live. Taken from here, there are some Sanskrit verses. I'm not good at it. Hindu Parvat se leke Kanyakumari tak. There is some definition to it. This geography is called Hindutva. And then when a lot of Hindus do not even know this particular definition
Yes.
of a Hindutva, they call it so many things. First, you have to understand it. If you don't have a meaning, for example, India has no meaning. It has been thrown upon us by the foreigners. A lot of people feel proud about it. Bharat has a meaning again, Sadhguru says it. So Hindu, understand the meaning of it, then some kind of reverberation you will feel in the heart, and then let's get into the depth of the Sanatan Dharma.
Yes.
So this is a land of intelligent people, for common people understanding. Scholars and poets can describe it more beautifully than me, but let's look at it as this is a land of intelligent people. What intelligent people? What have we produced? Recently, there is a post which recently these things are getting viral in the internet where Newton copied the laws from Vaisheshika Shastra, right? Why?
And it has been posted by University of Manchester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was under the impression when I was reading Osho and all this Swami Kanada's things, I clearly understood these kind of inventions happen only to a meditator, only to a sadhaka who experienced this shunya within him. He understands the mathematics better. Even in my childhood, Brahmins are the people who are good at mathematics. Because it is there in their, the chandas, the alankar and everything in the positions of moon. They're very much living into it, right? So
the biggest, I think the beacon of all this achievement of science is the astronomy, astrology.
Yeah.
These are panchang,
Yeah.
which we can even tell what will be the 100 years later, when Poonam will happen, when Amavasya will happen, everything we can tell.
Yes. So a Hindu has to understand that, not just a Hindu, the world has to understand that Vedam is the science. There is no other science which is equal to Vedam. Everything is taken from Vedam. Tomorrow, if a scientist is born, tomorrow means after 2024, 25, 60, or you take in future in 3000.
Okay.
If a scientist is born, he invents something, you reference back, it will be there in Veda. It will be there in Vedam for sure. It is written by Lord Shiva himself. He expounded the entire galaxy and given it to people. And it has been recited. There are many innovations. And Veda Vyasa is the Maharshi who actually classified Vedas. He did not, a lot of people are saying he is the father of Vedas. And no, Vedam is one. Veda Vyasa classified into 4. And then there are a lot of Shastras and so many astrology, everything is taken from Vedas itself. And when these books started translating into common language, Britishers, when they were existent here, they saw these people are so advanced. Why they came to loot our country? Will you go to a poor place and loot something?
Yeah.
You obviously come to a rich and flourishing place. When they were fighting with bow and arrows, we were doing zinc distillation, producing jewels and all our ancient movies, if you watch, they have massive buildings, much better than today's buildings. How is it possible? It is possible because of the continuous interaction with the divine. There were almost every day, day-to-day extraterrestrial transactions from the planet. People used to communicate with Yakshas, Gandharvas, Kinnaras. You know all these stories, right?
Yes.
Yeah. They know the gates of heaven. They've been there and they transact. They seek help. Some Gandharva walking by, they will ask him to construct a building, and that's how. I don't want to create any unhumanly atmosphere over here. Then people will think, okay, anyway, humans have not done it. This is built by devil or divine. No, all this happened under human capability. Human beings have done it. You take Ellora temple, for example, any temple, for example. We have invested only in the interiority and the magnanimous of the creation. We did not invest ourselves in gathering materials, gathering some stones. I'm calling diamonds and gold.
How should a Hindu preserve itself till the time that comes? So the preservation can happen through spirituality. That's
good. Vedam is the science. Vedam has everything that is necessary for human survival and to reach beyond mukti. moksha. Every practices of living is described in it. How a man has to conduct from morning when he wakes up to sleep is written in that. It's called yama and niyama. This is a huge science. Now we are at a tradition where we are ridiculing Veda. We are ridiculing the Sanatan culture. What happens? You will be reduced to a income source of a doctor. Most intelligent human being who existed like a divine itself, who walked on the planet like creator himself, is now being reduced to a slave, an instrument in the hands of other business people. You look at the kind of businesses that are happening on one person. Cosmetics industry is surviving, doctors are surviving, MBBS doctors. You look at the kind of exploitations they have for you in the name of curing the disease.
Surgeries, unnecessary surgeries are being pushed on.
Yeah, and you can't say a word on them. Then you say, these guys are against technology and developments.
Yeah.
No, we are not.
Even during COVID, the crisis, the richer people were the farmers.
Exactly. So in this context, what is important for Hindutva is spirituality. I'm not saying religion again. Religion again has a lot of frills into it. Because you look at the kind of religious leaders that are displayed, they are just on saffron uniforms, but not representing the actual spiritual ethos of the nation. Either they are commercial, either they are not coming out when there is a need. For example, Bangladesh riot happened. So many Hindus are massacred. How many Hindutva leaders are there in our country? Where were they? Why it is not stopped? Temples are being hit and pulled down and burning down. Everything is happening in the country, right? Why do you always take Modi's name? He is not doing anything. A religious leader who is so and so place, so and so particular area is supposed to do something. Is it not happening with the pastors or imams? They are the ones who are standing up and protecting their waqf lands or whatever.
Yes.
Nobody is standing for Hindutva. People have become passive. In the name of spirituality, they have become so lazy in their blissfulness. A blissful person, if he's a warrior, then you imagine the kind of transformation and the establishment of Dharma that happens. Now let's remember Lawrence Bishnoi
Okay.
into this.
Okay.
A lot of people are,
Because my natural question was this, but because you're saying spirituality, the biggest threat in what common sense of spirituality is, that we meditate, we stay in bliss, as you said. But rightly said, Lawrence Bishnoi is one. Now we are seeing someone as a warrior, the Kshatriyata, which we are missing in the Hindu communities.
Like Sadhguru says, that's why I'm very much connected to Sadhguru, not any other guru, because he is the one who clearly says spirituality is not a journey. Everywhere you go, the same business happens. Spirituality, it's a hardcore path. It is not for you. You have to do this many penances and all sorts of things. They will share the shit out of you, and then you will not even do it. This advertisement is very boring. It's very bad. Sadhguru is talking the roots. It is not like, he is presenting the liberation day. Liberation is not his idea. Liberation is existence's idea. It is already inbuilt in you. You do succumb so much into your materialistic, obviously you will be bored of it. You will get liberated and then you will pursue this path. Okay. Spirituality is not a journey. It is turning inward. If it has to be a journey, then it will be difficult. Look at the beauty here. Turning inward and meeting whom? You yourself.
Yes.
If you want to meet yourself, how long you have to go? You're already here. So this is how he gets into it. And that is so interesting. And that's why a lot of youth is, because it is true. He has more number of, Isha Foundation is the largest volunteer organization on the planet, 7 billion volunteers. Why? Because he is connecting people into the language they understand.
Okay.
You take Shastram, Vedam or anything you verse, people are bored of it and they're not interested. But once you get into the internal thing, all you will do is Vedas. Now I'm reading Vedas. I'm reading Bhagavad Gita. It is so interesting, Bhagavad Gita. Earlier it was not. I was not a person who will open everything, because all the projection of entertainment and the business job and everything is leftist, right?
Yes.
In NIT Warangal kind of an institute, you can imagine, there is no question of Sanatan Dharma at all. Sanatan Dharma is being ridiculed over there
Yes.
by the professors, students, and everything. It's always a trend. What movie have you watched? It has to be Hollywood. Otherwise, you are no good person. You say any Telugu hero actor name, then
Okay.
that's how the top institutes run, right?
Yeah.
Call it JNU or IITs.
Ashoka.
Any institute for. So when the students are in that kind of an impression, imagine the level of work that Sadhguru, Osho, Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, these people are doing, attracting the elite, the educated people. This is the most important one. For a poor guy, you need not tell spirituality. They already know the divine. Nowadays, a lot of work is needed in that area also because the appeasement politics, Dalit politics, pastors are going and grabbing only these people.
So one aspect you have covered nicely, which is the spirituality path. But as we just spoke a little while ago, Kshatriyata.
Yes.
How do we build that, and who do we look up to?
In this context, let's remember Osho. Once he gave rankings to the enlightened beings.
Okay.
Enlightenment is same. How can you give a ranking? You ask. He says, yes, enlightened beings are exactly same. It's same experience. Once you are transcended, it's transcended. There is no Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, there is no Sadhguru, there is no Adi Shankaracharya, Krishna. All of them have one experience. But in terms of work they do, they are different. And in terms of how much work they do, we can give rankings. He starts from the list of number 4. He gives Sri Kirti, Rahul Bhadra, Buddha. He goes on and number 1 he says Bodhidharma.
Okay.
Why? Enlightened being means as simple as a flower. You have flowered, they say, right? Flower, how vulnerable it is. Just about anybody can destroy it. It exudes fragrance. It makes you happy, but you can destroy it just like that. Imagine if an enlightened being has warrior skills. That is the end of it. And that is what Bodhidharma is. And that's why he gave number 1 ranking to Bodhidharma. Of all the work that people have done, he says Bodhidharma has done the extensive amount of work. Forget about others, he says. Why? You have seen the Seven Sins movie, right?
Yeah.
The whole China is because of Bodhidharma. Even a security guard in China is black belt qualified in Kung Fu.
Shaolin.
Yeah, Kung Fu. Kung Fu was taken by Bodhidharma, an Indian. There were temples of Bodhidharma and people are worshipping it.
Yeah.
Maybe in post you should put that pictures.
Yeah. Will do. You have covered in our earlier podcast. Yeah.
Super. So Bodhidharma, in India nobody knows about
Yes.
Bodhidharma. Even that's what the movie is all about. I mean to say, in terms of work, why Buddha is given number 2 rank. Who is Rahul Bhadra? Rahul Bhadra is Buddha's son. Sri Kirti and all these people, Lao Tzu, they belong to the Tibetan Shaivism.
Okay.
Spirituality. Tibet has an extensive spirituality. Right now people blame it as a tantric land. No, it is not. There are so many enlightened beings across the Tibet land, Varanasi. These are flourishing enlightened. Even now we can see enlightened beings. South, and these lands are very rare. 500 years once one Sadhguru happens. Ramana Maharshi happens. Yogi Vemana. So it's very rare. But there, every street you go there, you will meet an enlightened being.
Okay.
Yeah, that is how rich the land is. So in terms of work, a warrior mixed enlightened being is needed. A warrior come enlightened being is needed to this world. Shastra, dono chahiye.
Okay. So basically, go back to your roots. जैसे we can go to Kalaripayattu or build some kind of weaponry skills, swords, pistol, archery. There are so many things to do that, right?
We should keep in mind, that is people's choice. We should actually keep in mind, they have declared war upon us. You might have seen the Pakistan Untold. There is one Twitter handle which is continuously putting out this kind of very good videos exposing the imams. And I think this video came from Bangladesh. He directly said on camera, Madrasas are cantonment for jihad. Gajwa Hind. I mean Hindu genocide. They're very clear, man. They know it. The purpose is very clear. You want to wipe out kafirs, right? And we people, how long you gonna talk and say we are the rich culture, rich people, we are the
It
embodiment?
has survived because there were a lot of warrior kings and other
Yeah.
people sacrificing for us.
That is why I repeatedly say in many places that warrior is more important than intellectual. Intellectuals are needed to a certain stage. Do you call this OIC guy and call him for a debate and talk to him? He's done with his mind. He's very clear. You're not going to convince him in a debate, right? He needs a treatment.
Yeah.
Only warrior can give him a treatment, not an intellectual. So this understanding has to happen. A warrior is needed to be employed at certain places, which we do not have. We have very few warriors. Here and there, now and then, one Lawrence Bishnoi pops up. And I pray Mahadev that he will not end up like, Bhagat Singh or any other person, because the activity needs to be done subtly. For example, let's compare this difference between Yogi ji and Modi ji.
Okay.
If Modi ji hits you in the back, you will realize only after 7 days. You will not even know that I got a hit. But after 7 days, oh my God, when you're all collapsed, my God, this man I met, he gave me this. Yogi ji is not like that, right on face, directly hitting you. These are two different styles. Krishna, Bodhidharma, whichever way you want it, all the enlightened beings, they are warriors, great warriors. They wiped out armies, right? Now our intellectuals, most of them are not warriors.
Keyboard
They just
warriors.
Yeah, keyboard warriors. And people say, they satisfy themselves saying, this is a information war. Yeah, there are multiple types of war. There is word war, there is bio war, all sorts of wars. But end of the day, we only see videos where the Hindu skulls are bleeding. In any riots, women are raped, men are killed.
Yes.
This needs to be addressed. And I don't remember who said it. He extempore in saying that you should walk like a soldier outside. Now you imagine how many armor you should wear upon. We are in a war.
Yeah.
It is not to scare people. If you are living in your own comfortable life, enjoying things, I'm nobody to comment on it. But this is what I'm seeing, the picture.
Okay. When you talked about Lawrence Bishnoi, a certain interesting thing has happened recently. Baba Siddiqui was shot dead.
Yeah.
People are pointing, and even some whispers from police investigation is saying that it connects to the Lawrence Bishnoi gang.
Yeah.
What is he trying to achieve? Because now suddenly we are hearing rumors that Salman Khan, Munawar Farooqi, these people are also on the hit list.
Yeah.
What does he achieve by this? And what is this going on? And first of all, I didn't know who Baba Siddiqui was. So suddenly, why is he so important?
He has connections with Dawood Ibrahim.
Okay.
Whoever is comparing him with Dawood Ibrahim, it is wrong. Comparing Lawrence Bishnoi with Dawood, no, they are worlds apart. Dawood is involved in drug cartel, so many killings and murders. His agenda is different and he's hidden. Lawrence Bishnoi is share in the public. He's not hidden.
Okay.
So
he's jailed.
Yeah. So I mean to say, in terms of action, you look at the Bishnoi community, there is a backstory, there's a huge backstory. These are Vishnu devotees, nature lovers. Bishnoi is a community who is environmentalists, who want to protect the environment. That's how it started.
Yes.
And then he's from that community, and that is why the fight is about, right? Salman Khan killed his very
Black
favorite,
buck.
Krishna deer. The name of the deer is Krishna.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It is very dear to Krishna. So black deer color. So he killed it. He only said, come and apologize, I'll leave you. That also you do not do. Then this happens. And why is it? It's very important. A guy who ridicules Rama and Krishna, he's roaming around freely with government is providing him security. What nonsense is this? This is insane, right? If the judiciary and the government functions like this, only then the warriors, these kind of warriors will sprout in the nation and they will take over. Judiciary will become whatever you want to call it. These guys will take over, and it is people will love it. People will heroify him. People will call him a warrior. They call him Bhagat Singh of our times. For sure. How long you will see this nonsense happening?
Yeah.
Ridiculing Sanatan Dharma and get away with the court, freely roam around in the country.
Okay. Recently, you have been busy with something very big.
Yeah.
I don't know what the date is because I only see coming soon. BBC on trial.
Yes.
We have been the documentary that you and several other organizations with I don't remember the name. Sorry, the person who has actually produced this.
Pandit Satish Sharma ji.
Okay.
The founder of GHF, Global Hindu Federation. It's in UK, and his Twitter handle is the British Hindu. He's the writer and director of it. Excellent person. I mean, his knowledge is beyond. He's very knowledgeable person, and if he is doing the BBC on documentary, then he is going to hit the last nail in the coffin. That is how powerful the documentary has come up. We have edited it.
Okay.
We met at WHC, World Hindu Congress in Bangkok, and we discussed this idea and started working on it. It's been like 2 years working on it. It has come out really well. The idea is to ban BBC from India, kick out BBC from India. Why? They made a documentary on Modi ji.
Yeah.
The case which has been settled in Supreme Court is again took it up and then want to blame Modi ji on Gujarat riots. They only want to highlight the Muslim genocide or killing or whatever happened, but they don't want to highlight why it happened. Sabarmati Express is being burnt. No news about it. Who burnt it? Obviously, they will not talk about it. They do it time and again. When Silkur Balaji temple priest C.S. Rangarajanji carried this Munivahana Utsavam, carried a Dalit on his shoulders, you see what kind of nonsense they have written about it. Only BBC has written why this is needed, what some kind of barbaric stuff they have written. I'll give you the news article, you can put it, people to read. This is totally targeting Hindutva and anti-Hindu and anti-India propaganda they propel. They work with anti-nationals like Zubair, Arfa Khanum, the left IPSMF gang. This has to be kicked out of the country, because at certain point disinformation will become a national security threat. It will be so dangerous that a genocide, it can evoke a genocide in the country. So that has to be stopped. Satish ji, myself started it, and there is a team working on it. Arnab ji showed a lot of interest in it, so we are getting support across the globe. In some private screenings are happening in New Jersey, UK, etc. In India, we have to take it to cities in it is going to release in multi-language. Okay. So everybody will become aware that BBC is an idiot.
Okay.
A fake news. This has to be kicked out. Then we'll work on some policy to completely ban it from the country.
And when do we expect this documentary to come out?
25th. It's going to release on 25th. In
25th October?
Yeah.
Okay.
In Jaipur Dialogues event.
Oh, really?
Maybe if this podcast gets released before that, people will get to know.
But why BBC per se? Because there are so many other news outlets that are working anti-India element, anti-Hindu elements.
Yeah.
But why BBC per se?
BBC is pretty dangerous because you look at the journalists, the way they are trained. They keep their blood ice cold.
Okay.
We people are always agitated, aggregated. We cook up a lot of fire inside and we destroy things. But the person who is asking, blaming you, talking fake, is so cool. That is their USP, moral high grounds. We don't do that. Whoever answers BBC will be in trouble. There are instances where people walked out of the interview, and so they talk so rude and so blunt, but maintain a calm and a saintly gesture.
Elon Musk interview was something which got highlighted.
Yes, Elon Musk, Guyana president, and many people, Sadhguru, Modi ji. directly said, you British don't teach us human rights.
Yeah.
We know what human rights are. So that is how these people are. They've set up their home with 100 holes in it, and they are going to pick up holes in outside people's home. This is a very bad culture. If we, in our friends, we have one person. We will have friends who badmouth about us with the most disliking person of our family, and then creates so terrible problems between us. We almost fight each other and divide. This is the work of BBC. Creating clashes between different countries. You take any war, there will be BBC's hand behind propelling the fake news. They take that opportunity to enjoy their fake news and create more divisions across. And this newspaper is being trusted as the most legitimate news in the country that we wanted to destroy.
Okay. All the best to you and your work, because this is something which is of utmost importance.
Yeah.
We as Indians are still coming out of this white inferiority, so we still take in a lot of news articles, the headlines that BBC and other Western news outlets, leftist outlets put upon us, put us in bad lights, and we take it with a way more weightage than we should actually give it to, we give it more attention than they deserve. And I hope you succeed in this.
Thank you so much.
And we are able to push BBC out, especially the name British Broadcasting Company. So you can understand we are still, under attack of the colonial rulers.
Yeah.
So it is important, and I really thank you for coming onto my podcast and hosting me in your studio. My questions are done here. So I hope you had some fun, viewers, and I hope you had some fun talking to me.
Really enjoyed the show. I want your channel to grow as well. Any support from my side, always there.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope we have given some important information to people.
Yeah.
To learn.
Definitely. And with that, we end here. Thank you so much.